Hello everyone. Today I'm going to try to answer the question, what is a percentage? So the term percentage comes from the Latin. A lot of mathematical terms come from either Latin or Greek. This one's Latin this time. Per centum. Obviously the word century means 100 years. So centum is 100. So Latin is by the 100 or out of every 100. So percentage means a certain number out of every 100. So it's like dividing your pizza into 100 pieces. So if you had your pizza expertly drawn as usual with some bits of pepperoni on it. If you divided this pizza into 100 and then you took 50 of them, assuming you divide it properly, you would have half. So 50% equals a half, because it's 50 out of 100, and if you know how to simplify fractions, obviously you'll end up with 1/2. So a percentage is if you divided whatever it is up into 100, or if you took 100 people and worked out how many had red hair, say it was 10 people had red hair, then 10 out of 100, 10%. So 50% means a half. 25, so if you divide a half by a half, divide a half in half, you get a quarter. So a quarter is 25%. So what we're really going to concentrate on in this first video is looking at 50% and 25%. So 50% being a half, 25% being a quarter. That's going to be our starter in percentages today. So let's try some simple percentages. So 50% of 80 equals a half of 80 equals 40. 50% of 60 is going to be a half of 60, so that would equal 30. Right, 50% of 90 is obviously a half of 90. Right, most of you know, a lot of you will know that half of 90 is 45. Okay, what if you didn't know that and you had to calculate 50% of 90? Well, hopefully you've seen our previous video on bus stop, so we can do a little bus stop calculation. So 2's into 90, 2's in 9 is 4, remainder 1, 2's into 10 is 5. So 50% of 90 is 45. And obviously you can do that with any number. So say you had 50% of 70, obviously that's half of 70. So we do 2's into 70. 2's into 7 is 3, remainder 1. 2's into 10 is 5. Okay, so that's just working out 50%. So remember, 50% equals a half. I'm just going to put that on the top there. 50% equals a half. And also, as we said, 25% equals a quarter. Okay, 50% is a half, 25% is a quarter. So let's say we start off with a number. We'll have 70. That's our number we're starting with. And we want to know 50%. And then we want to know what 25% is. Okay, so if you want to know 50%, well, that's obviously half of 70. Again, if you're not sure what to do, use bus stop. 2's into 3. Given the answer there, 2's into 7 is 3. 2's into 10 is 5. So 50% is going to be 35. Right, now if you want to work out 25%, we need to do, just put on in brackets here, so write that in red. 25% is a quarter, is also half of 50%. So just going to do a couple of calculations where we need to work out 50% and 25%. So once we've worked out 50%, assuming we've done that correctly, then to work out 25%, we need to do half of 35. Now, you might be quite good at halving even numbers. When it comes to halving odd numbers, the easiest thing to do is take off 1 from an odd number, 34, and a lot of people can do that quite easily in their head. So half of 34 is 17. So then half of the odd 1 there is going to be 0.5. So 25% is going to be 17.5. Okay, so if we couldn't do that, obviously we could do a bus stop. 2's into 34. 2's into 3 is 1, remainder 1. 2's into 14 is 7. Another thing just to bear in mind is you might be dealing with people like, okay, the class was divided into 4, 25% went somewhere. You can't have 17.5 people, so you could say that is 18 to the nearest whole number. I mean, that should be specified in the question, but I have quite a few questions, quite a few worksheets on percentages, and even when I say give the answer to the nearest whole number, a lot of people are telling me that there were 7.5 children in this particular group, which might be rather painful. Okay, so let's just do a few more. We're going to do, let's do 50. So 50% of 50. You can most people probably know half of 50 is 25. So I'm just going to write that straight away. Right, 25%. We've got to halve it again. So half of 25, if you do 25 take away 1 is 24. And you've got good knowledge of factors, you probably already know that half of 24 is 12. So 12.5. Right, let's do 2 more of these and then I think it'll be time for the quiz. Okay, so let's do 38. 50% of 38. Okay, you may not know what that is, so let's just do a quick bus stop. 2's into 3 is 1, remainder 1. 2's into 18 is 9. So the answer is going to be 19. 25%. Half of 19, well, take off the 1, gives you 18. Half of 18 is 9. So it's going to be 9.5. Okay, and then let's just do 43 this time. Right, 50%. Well, it's going to go straight for a bus stop this time. Two's into 4 is 2. No remainders. 2's into 3 is 1. Got a remainder. Remember, you can do bus stop with decimals. So there was a remainder 1. So that would be 2 into 10 is 5, so that would be 21.5. So if we want to do 25% of 43, what we can do is half of 21.5. So 2's into 2 is 1, 2's into 1 is 0, remainder 1, 2's into 15 is 7, remainder 1, we need to write another 0 in here. 2's into 10 is 5. So 25% of 43 is 10.75. Right, okay, get your pens and pencils ready. We're going to do a few quiz questions, our traditional 4 questions. So, some questions on percentage, just involving 50% and 25%. Okay, so the first question, so as usual, once I start writing them down, you can start answering them. So 50% equals, okay. Let's try again. So 50% of 60, that's question 1. Question 2 is 50% of 15. Question 3, 25% of 80. And next question is 25% of 14. Okay, so if you haven't worked all those out, pause the video, work them out, and then restart the video. So, answers to these. 50% of 30 is half of 30. Well, half of 6 is 3, add a 0 on. Sorry, I think I might have just said that a bit wrongly, but you know what I mean. 50% of 60 is half of 60, which is 30. Okay, 50% of 15, so half of 15, so if we take off 1, we get 14. Half of 14 is 7, and then half of the odd 1 is always 0.5, so 7.5. Right, 25% of 80 is a quarter of 80. So half of 80 is 40, and then half of 40 is 20. And also 4 times 20 is 80. Right, 25% of 14 is a quarter of 14. So what we can do is halve it to get 7, and then take off 1 to get 6. Half of 6 is 3, and then half of the odd 1 is always 0.5. So 25% of 14 is 3.5. Thank you for watching that video, and if you enjoyed that, please check out our website for more great online resources. So the address is www.routes2success11plus.uk, or find us on Twitter @routes2success. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos. Thank you.